The European Commission President said Brussels and Westminster shouldn't seek to hurt on another as Brexit negotiations reach their most crucial point in the coming months. In an interview with a number of Austrian daily newspapers, Mr. Juncker said, "We have to be careful, like two loving hedgehogs. When two hedgehogs hug each other, you have to be careful that there will be no scratches." The eurocrat's message comes after senior EU officials all but killed off Mrs. May's controversial Chequers plan. When two hedgehogs hug each other, you have to be careful. Jean-Claude Juncker. On Thursday, the EU's most senior official Donald Tusk welcomed the Prime Minister's plan but said key economic proposals simply couldn't work. Wrapping up an informal gathering of EU leaders in Salzburg, the European Council president said, "Everybody shared the view that while there are positive elements in the Chequers proposal, the suggested framework for economic cooperation will not work." Mrs. May's proposal pledges to keep Britain aligned to EU rules on goods but not services and for Britain to collect EU trade tariffs to avoid a hard Irish border. The Prime Minister launched her own counterattack, insisting her proposal was the only credible plan on the table. Brexit news. Jean-Claude Juncker has warned the UK and EU to treat each other as loving hedgehogs. Image, Getty. However, unbothered EU leaders told Mrs. May they are ready to push for a Brexit deal in October but have warned if she does not offer concessions on the Irish border by November, they are ready to cope with a no-deal scenario. Mr. Tusk added October would be the moment of truth for reaching a deal, and if the conditions are there, an emergency summit would be scheduled for November to formalize the agreement. Mr. Juncker told reporters in Salzburg, "A no deal is not by working assumption, but would it happen, then we are prepared. Because the Commission prepared in detail all the elements of consequences of a no-deal which could be entailed by a no-deal, so don't worry, be happy, don't worry." The bloc's most powerful leaders, German Chancellor Angela Merkel and Emmanuel Macron, also issued tough statements on Brexit as they summed up the summit. Ms. Merkel said, "Substantial progress was needed on the UK's withdrawal agreement by the next European Council meeting in October, with still a large piece of work on the separate issue of future trade relations." She insisted the EU27 are united that, in the matter of the single market, there can be no compromises. Mr. Macron said Brexit had been pushed by certain people who predicted easy solutions. The French president added, "Brexit has shown us one thing, and I fully respect British sovereignty in saying this, it has demonstrated that those who said you can easily do without Europe, that it will all go very well, that it is easy and there will be lots of money, are liars. This is all the more true because they left the next day, so they didn't have to manage it." Both Paris and Berlin have been the driving force behind the European Commission's decision to use Chequers as the basis of a future UK-EU trade relationship. The influential capitals had already slapped down a group of smaller EU nations hoping to push for Mrs. May's proposal to be used more widely in negotiations.